This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man? Louie T, welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 10 in the National Football League. Detroit Lions at home hosting the Miami Dolphins in a huge matchup between two teams playing some outstanding football right now. Dolphins come into this game winners of 3 straight, couple of road victories against the Bears and the Jags, home blowout victory over the San Diego Chargers, a shutout victory as a matter of fact, one of their most dominant performances in over a decade, and so they're playing with an abundance of confidence right now. Ryan Tannehill, to me, playing the best football of his career. He's not only getting it done with his arm, but more importantly, I think getting it done with his legs, which is really putting pressure and strain on defenses to try to stop him. Defensively, this Dolphins team getting it done. That secondary has been the backbone of this football team. Brent Grimes, Louis Delmas, and company are getting it done as this Dolphins team has transformed their season and they look like a legitimate competitor in the AFC right now. Meanwhile, you got the Detroit Lions coming off of a bye week, getting healthy. This is a team leading the NFC North right now with a mark of 6-2, playing some outstanding football despite having a slew of injuries. They're getting back Calvin Johnson in this game. They're getting back Reginald Bush in this game. They're getting back Brandon Pettigrew on the offensive side to get back C.J. Mosley on the defensive side of the football. So this is a team happy to be back off the bye with a lot of their stuff coming back, and they're playing outstanding football. So they're confident as well. They got a huge matchup in week number 11 versus the Arizona Cardinals, but this one matters first. They got to take care of this one to set up that huge monumental matchup between two first-place teams in week number 11. So if you're the Detroit Lions, you want all the momentum in the world going into Arizona because you've went to Arizona before and gotten drubbed. So you know how tough it is to go into Arizona and come out with a W. You need to win this game to continue the confidence that is swelling right now in Detroit. So we jump into this game. Lions get on the board on their opening possession with a 15-play, 72-yard drive. This drive was aided by so many different things. First of all, Dolphins had penalties on this drive. They had 2 offsides penalties. They had a personal foul penalty as well, helping out this Lions team. Then the Lions, they were rolling the dice in this game, and they started early on this first possession. They go with a fake punt. Ballsy call by Jim Caldwell and his staff as they elect to have Sam Martin fake the punt and actually throw a pass to good old Jeb Collins, who catches the football and then cradles it like a newborn baby. Jeb was like, hey, nobody ain't getting this one from behind, as he able to run before about 25 yards in the play. Huge play as the Lions are able to get in the field goal range. All of that, you know, the penalties, 15 plays, 72 yards, the fake punt only equates to a field goal. But hey, points nonetheless. They'll take them. It's 3-0 early in this game. Lions are up. And Ndamukong Suh, I thought, was dominant on that opening defensive possession for this Detroit Lions team. As they tried to run on first down, he breaks through the line and is able to get a tackle for loss. They try to pass the ball the very next play. He's able to get through, get his hands on Tannehill, and is able to hold on to him until the brigade arrives. They get him down for a sack. It's 3rd and 25. They run a play just to try to save face and pick up a few yards and give them some space to punt. So I thought it was a dominant opening possession defensively for Detroit, which is what they've done all year. We talk about both of these teams being good defensive teams. Lions lead the league in defense coming into this game. So this is what they do. This isn't a fluke. This is what the Lions do on a weekly basis. And so that 3-and-out, which had the Dolphins pinned deep in their own territory, coupled with a punt that wasn't all that great, sets this Lions team up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. So they're already in Dolphins territory. Sounds like a great opportunity to take a shot at the end zone. And that's exactly what the Lions decide to do. Stafford says to Megatron, hey, you're back. Let's see how good you are. If you're really back, you'll win this one-on-one matchup. And that's exactly what they do. They go after Brent Grimes. They run a double move. Brent Grimes plays this as well as you can play it as a cornerback. The only problem on this play is the fact that Brent Grimes is 5'8", 5'9". There's nothing he can do about his size. I mean, he doesn't fall for the double move. He's in great position. If Calvin Johnson is 6 feet, this might be an interception, but because he's 6'5", there was nothing Brent Grimes could do about this, as this one-on-one coverage couldn't be stopped. Great throw by Stafford. Great catch by Megatron. Phins to Megatron. He's back. And the Miami Dolphins find it out on that particular play, as it's a 49-yard touchdown strike from Stafford to Phins to Megatron, as it's 10-0 early in this game. And this has been a staple of the Lions all season long. They get out to fast starts, jump out on teams, and then do nothing for the remainder of the game and barely hold on for dear life. In some instances, they actually lose the game, like they did against Buffalo. They jumped out early on Green Bay, didn't do much more in that game. They jumped out early on Minnesota, didn't do much more in that game. Jumped out early on Buffalo, ended up losing that game. So this has been something that the Lions have done a lot this season. Jump out to early leads, 10-0, 14-0, only to have that lead either vanish or for them to just hold on for dear life and not score a lot of points. And I was hoping with all of the weapons coming back offensively that the offense would get it kick-started and give the defense a little bit of a break. Not necessarily relieve them of their duties, because you want your defense to remain dominant, but how about you score 27 points and not have to force the defense to keep a team under 20 to win ball games? It'd be nice if the offense could, score 24 or 27 and give the defense a chance to, kind of take a breath a little bit and exhale. But that wasn't the case. Lions up to the same old tricks in this game. So, that's the end of the first quarter. Lions up 10-0. Lions attempt another fake field goal. They went to the well one too many times. They were being greedy, okay? Scare money don't make money, but this was an instance where you're in Dolphins territory, right around the 41-yard line or so. You don't want to attempt a long, 60-yard field goal. You don't want to punt the football. You're too close for that. I get it. Maybe Sam Martin was told that if you get an uncovered gunner, throw the football to him. Because the guy that was supposed to be blocking the gunner, he comes tight to the line in an all-out assault on the punter, trying to block the punt. So I think maybe he got that message from the special teams coach, like, hey, they give you this look, hey, take it. Or maybe they just decided to go for it, and it was predetermined. Who knows? But if you're going to go for it, in that situation, I'd much rather see the Lions just put Matthew Stafford, Megatron, Golden Tate, Reginald Bush, Corey Fuller. I'd like to see all those guys out there on the field and give them an opportunity to pick up 7 or 8 yards, not the punter and your gunner, okay? I'd much rather see guys that are used to running plays go out there and try to execute. So, didn't really agree with this one, but it is what it is. So Miami Dolphins get great field position after the turnover on downs, and Ryan Tannehill misses 60 minutes on a touchdown on a deep ball. And this is something that has to get better. And we've been talking about this for 2 years now. Last year it was an issue. Still haven't cleaned it up. They still aren't connecting. And Mike Wallace had at least 3 steps on the next closest defender. I mean, they got to connect on these deep balls. If you're not connecting on the deep ball with Mike Wallace, you're not fully maximizing the capabilities of Mike Wallace. You're not getting your money's worth, okay? If you're not hitting the deep ball with Mike Wallace, you're not getting your $63 million worth out of Mike Wallace. There's no way that you're getting all that you can get out of him, because that's the reason you signed him to Miami, because this guy was a deep threat. This was a guy that could take it the distance from anywhere on the field. And the biggest asset was that he was a deep threat, like a Deshaun Jackson that can change the game. Well, he hasn't been able to do that in Miami because Ryan Tannehill and himself aren't on the same page on those deep balls. Tannehill has to hit him when he's open. That's the next evolution and maturation of Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. Can't miss the deep ball when it's there to be hit. And so that was a huge play, because 3 plays later, James Ahitabo picks off Ryan Tannehill. Bad throw by Tannehill. First of all, he was late on the throw. Second of all, he threw it to the inside. You can't throw an out-breaking route to the inside. You're asking for trouble, and trouble is what he got on this play, as Ahitabo is able to pick it up. He should have scored on this play. I was upset with James Ahitabo. He was way too excited. And another thing that he did on this play was he underestimated the athleticism of one Ryan Tannehill. I think he forgot that Ryan Tannehill used to be a receiver. He's a 4'6", 40 quarterback. He can run. And James Ahitable thought he was just going to run right by him like he was one of these statue quarterbacks in this league. And Ryan Tannehill kept up with him, ran stride for stride, step for step with him. And in fact, caught him, hawked him down. And as he was trying to bring him down, James Ahitable grabbed his face mask, tried to stiff arm him, and he picks up a personal foul penalty. So in essence, I felt like this was a 7-point mistake because there were blockers, willing blockers, and a convoy of them to get him to the end zone if he just follows his blockers. Instead, he wanted to go rogue, and he wanted to do it by himself, and the end result was him not only not scoring, but picking up a personal foul penalty in the process. And so after that personal foul penalty, the next play, Matthew Stafford is picked off by Brent Grimes. What a play! Oh my goodness, did you see the play by Brent Grimes? Dude, he's 5'8", 5'9". He jumps up. First of all, the hops on that play, ridiculous. And then to go up with one arm, extend, get the football, bring it down, hold on to it, complete the catch throughout the whole process, get your body in bounds. God damn, that was a hell of a play. And that was a game-saving play because, again, if that play is completed for a touchdown, it was underthrown, but it doesn't matter. 97% of the corners in this league do not make that play, especially the shorter ones in this league. Brent Grimes is a special athlete. He's playing at such a high level. For his age, you just don't see guys play the position of cornerback as well as he's playing it right now. I mean, when they signed him in Miami, he was 30 years old, and I thought you may get a good year or two out of him. This guy is playing some outstanding football. My gosh, what a play. And so that Ryan Tannehill missed touchdown is huge, and that penalty on James Ahitable and him not following his blockers was huge. Both of them end up turning the football over after having opportunities to score touchdowns. So both teams squandering golden opportunities to put 7 on the board. Miami takes the momentum of that pick and methodically drives 13 plays down the field to get in the end zone, get into field goal range. And they get a field goal right before the half as it's now 10-3. Detroit Lions up, but you can feel the tide somewhat turning in the favor of the Dolphins after that huge play. Daniel Thomas fumbles to start the second half. So much for that momentum coming out of the second half break as the Dolphins give it up as Daniel Thomas puts it on the carpet. Lions get the football at midfield, aren't able to take advantage of that field position. This is what I'm talking about. The defense, they're giving you gifts. They've already picked off Tannehill, gave you the football in great field position. You weren't able to do anything with it. In fact, you turned it over on the very next play. Here, the defense is, again, giving you a gift. The gift that keeps on giving. Turnovers. And you can't convert. You can't even pick up a first down. You got to punt the football. You can't even get a first down and attempt a field goal. And so, that's a problem. You got to be able to do things like that. And they couldn't even cash in. And so, they got to punt the football. Dolphins get the football back, are able to drive it down the field, set up a Caleb Sturgis 50-yard field goal. He bangs it home. It's now 10-6 Dolphins in this game. It's 10-6 Dolphins down by 4 now as they're starting to trim this lead down methodically. And so Lions continue to roll the dice in this game. And again, Jim Caldwell, already 2 fake punts called, and now they're going for it on 4th and 6. Again, another one of these situations in no man's land. Too close to punt, too far to kick a field goal. So again, and unlike the last time you did this, you sent the offense out there, and that's what I want. If you're going to go for it, put your best guys out there and try to pick it up. And so on 4th and 6, they throw the football to Alphonse the Mugatron, and he made it very eventful as he juggles the football, but is able to corral it, get the first down, keep the drive alive. They ultimately get in the field goal range through the Lions, and so they decide to kick a field goal. It's a 50-yarder. It comes out low. The trajectory on this field goal comes out very low by Matt Prater. I don't know if he meant for it to be that low or not, but either way, it's blocked by the Dolphins, scooped up by Deion Jordan. He gets all the way to the 4-yard line. And so, very next play, Mike Wallace, 60 minutes out of the backfield on a motion play where he comes from one side of the formation to the other. They throw him the football immediately. He catches it, walks into the end zone. Just like that, it's 13-10. Dolphins ahead in this game as we go to the fourth quarter. Huge Golden Tate gain leads to a 50-yard Matt Prater field goal. We're all knotted up at 13. Excellent drive by the Dolphins as Charles Clay gets involved, and it's good to see him involved. When this offense is playing their best, especially in the passing game, Charles Clay is usually active in the football game. He was active on this drive. 3 catches, 2 of them on third down, yielding first downs, and the third of which got them close to the end zone. Tannehill tried to hook up with him for a 4th and final time in the end zone. Great play by James Ahitabo to knock the football out of his grasp in the end zone. It would have been a touchdown. Great play by Ahitabo to save that touchdown from being caught. And so they have to settle for a field goal. Do the Dolphins, they take a 16-13 lead after that play that was huge by James Ahitabo. He was huge in this game. Lions, after a 3-and-out, they force a 3-and-out. They get the football back one final time because they got the football after the field goal. They had to punt. The defense had to get a stop because if they didn't get a stop and the Dolphins were able to pick up, say, 2 first downs, this game was over. This game would have been over. The Lions would have to use their timeouts. The clock would have dwindled down, and they wouldn't have had any time to do what it is they ended up doing in this game. Instead, in this Detroit Lions defense, they did what they have done all season long, which is what a number 1 ranked defense does. When their team needs a stop to get a chance to win a ball game, they get the stop and they get the football back to their offense one final time. This is it, 4 down territory. Lions rev it up offensively. It's like the light bulb came on for this offense, which had been stagnant since the first half. Really hadn't done much of anything. Stafford turns it up, and Golden Tate, he's been huge in situations like this all season long, especially with the absence of Megatron for most of the season. He comes up big once again, 21 yards to start this drive off for Golden Tate. Then 17 to Calvin Johnson, another 11 to Corey Fuller. So Stafford starting to zing it around, find open receivers and hit them. Then on 3rd and 10, a crucial pickup by Golden Tate. He gets 10 yards on the dot. I wasn't sure if he picked this up. I thought it was a favorable spot, but nonetheless, he gets to the line of game, able to move the sticks. And that was a huge pickup because it allowed the Lions to get in a position to start taking shots at the end zone. And the first of which was a pass to Calvin Johnson in the back of the end zone. And this is why I think Calvin Johnson is one of the best receivers in the league, but I hesitate in calling him the best because he drops passes like this one way too often. You got to have this one. If you're going to catch any pass in this game, this is the one you got to catch. And he didn't make this catch. And you can't drop that pass, Calvin. Luckily enough for the Lions, on the very next play, Matthew Stafford able to buy time, escape out of the pocket, allow Theo Riddick to win a one-on-one matchup with a linebacker, as Stafford is able to zing it in there. And Theo Riddick, so savvy, turns his back to the defender to shield him from being able to knock the football loose, holds on to it throughout the process. It's a touchdown, go-ahead score, the game-winning score, as the Lions win the football game 20-16 in exhilarating come-from-behind fashion. It's what this Lions team has done all season long. And I tell you what, Lions fans are going to need a pacemaker at some point this year. If they continue with all of these late-game theatrics, this Lions team has had their fans on the edge of their seat the entire season. And for once, the Lions are starting to come out on the right end of these close ball games. Normally, they're the team blowing that lead at the end or losing a game at the end. They're getting it done this season, and that's why they're 7-2 to start this season. Heartbreaking loss for the Dolphins. They're no strangers to heartbreaking losses. This is the second time an NFC North team has beat them at the very end of the football game. If you remember, Aaron Rodgers did the same thing to this group in Miami just a month ago. So the Dolphins have been tough luck against the NFC North, and this is another tough loss to swallow if you are the Dolphins. Defensively, you played well enough to win. The offense did not do enough to help you win this football game. Tough loss. Dolphins fall to 5-4 in the season. These are the type of games you got to win if you want to make the postseason. If you don't make it, this is one of those games, along with that Green Bay game, that you'll lament and you'll look back on and say, we should have won that game. Those games cost us a chance to make the postseason. And that's going to do it for Lions and Dolphins. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down week number 10 in the National Football League. See you next time.